is already in studios with me. I hope I've pronounced your name very well. Mr. Nelson, good morning and welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Farida. It's a pleasure being here today, and the Safe Space Network is honored, and the people of Uganda are honored to have Alternative Uganda. You are doing an incredible job, and we are very proud of you.
Okay, thank you, and you're also doing an incredible job. Yes. Speaking of the Safe Space Network, let's first find out what is actually, if for someone who has not heard of Safe Space before, what is the Safe Space Network, and what is this all about?
Safe Space Network is a public benefit, not-for-profit organization working here in Uganda, and we basically empower, network women and youth to be change agents in their communities in the areas of environment conservation, HIV prevention, and we economically empower them through skilling them and supporting them to have startups. You know, at Safe Space we believe that if youth are educated and networked, they have the potential to offer solutions to the world's toughest problems. So, and that is what we are trying to make sure that our Ugandan youth achieve, so that they contribute to the problems we are faced with today. And that leads me to our HIV prevention program.
Before we delve into the HIV prevention program, it's going to come, but why actually women and youth? Why not men? And men also have gone to this.
They are even the agents of the transmission.
That is your stereotype. But let's continue. That's a stereotype that Farida always has on the show. You know, I'm telling you, people who are watching us actually know that you're stereotyping that. Why women and youth and not men also? If
I was a woman, you would say that I'm favoring my gender, but the fact that I'm a man, I understand, and I think many of you people watching out there, you will agree with me that women and youth are more vulnerable, or they are always given limited space. They are not that empowered enough to demand and be sure enough to get the space. So, and we believe that if women are empowered and emancipated, then our entire community is emancipated. You imagine if your mother was not that clean enough to help you grow, you would have died maybe of an illness that is kind of big.
And that's where the saying goes that
these women are getting emancipated. How are you preparing these men to deal with the emancipated women, because they are not ready to handle the emancipated women? Is there a program that is helping the men to cope?
Have you wondered how women have been managing men that are emancipated? You know, African culture, this culture has been patriarchal. Where you find that
it has been and it still is.
The levels are quite going low. We no longer believe that the men are the superior sex, because we have seen women that are doing great things that men, at times men can fail to do, but women have done it. So honestly, the Safe Space Network, we have not thought about now emancipating or empowering men as they are already empowered. Let us first get those that are low. If you get them at the same level, then we shall have a society and a community that is equitable. You know, a Safe Space Network.
I really want not to agree with you, like men are already empowered and then you are empowering the women. Maybe they are already empowered, but they have not captured the concept of dealing with emancipated women. They know the woman of the 90s. They do not know the woman of the current years, or who is emancipated, who can stand. You see, the confident women are pushing away the men. Men don't know how to handle confident women. So as you are making these women realize their roles, how they should be, what they should do, what have you done for the men? Because it is the result of single motherhood that we are seeing, that these men are not really ready to handle these emancipated women, and the reason why we are having a lot of single mothers around.
Thank you, Farida. There is what we call positive masculinity. Positive masculinity is where...
Sorry to cut you short. Katini nyo, do you know Luganda?
Si lulungi nnyo naye nyinza kuteekamu olutonotono. But for this case of positive masculinity, I may not do it well in Uganda. Thank you. Thank you. Positive masculinity is where men use their strengths, physical strengths, and already gained emancipation to support women realize their potential. To be muscular does not mean that you should be fighting or beating up a woman. Instead, you should be making women feel secure and supported around you. By that, you are supporting them. That is what we call positive masculinity. And we have a program on that, though that is not on the though that is not on the forefront of our programs.
Safe Space Uganda, are you only in Kampala Safe Space Network?
Safe Space Network, we basically operate through chapters, which we call Safe Space chapters. These are institutions-based, like institutions of learning, and community-based. For example, on Saturday, we were at our chapter in Kawempe. That's where we launched our HIV prevention campaign. And we have chapters in schools. You know, Safe Space Network, we are talking about creating safe spaces in our communities. By a safe space, we mean where someone feels secure, safe both physically and emotionally. And that is what we are creating. Why would someone need a safe space? When you're in a safe space, actually, you people, this is some sort of a safe space because I'm really feeling free, emotionally and physically. I'm so grateful for Alternative Uganda for that. So while someone is in a safe space, you think freely, you learn what you do not know, and the fact that you do not know, that does not make you a weak person. And if you say something is not right, you are not judged as being wrong. If a girl is in a safe space with age mates who are males, she does not feel marginalized. She does not feel low because she's is a lady in a space of men. And that is what we are talking about at Safe Space Network. So we are promoting the creation of safe spaces at schools, churches, communities, and at workplaces, so that people that have been socially and can I say historically looked as marginalized, these are the youth and women, can be able to learn and play their role and feel not judged, and at the end we shall have an equal opportunity society that every person is going to enjoy. Thank you.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but as I was reading about Safe Space, I've realized that you have been working in Kampala, basically going the central, let me say that. But the challenge is the marginalized communities and the marginalized individuals, for example, the women, and from way in the rural areas. Yeah. So don't you think Safe Space maybe should have planted more roots, or actually rendered more services to the youths and the women that are in the rural areas, in those areas where the patriarchal society and that patriarchalism actually still thrives even up to now?
Thank you, Matthew. Yes. You are very right, and I totally agree with you on the fact that there are other youth in outside of Kampala that are marginalized or that are not empowered. And the women. You know, we can't solve all problems at a go or in a very short time. Safe Space Network actually started in 2018. So we are about how many years?
That means 2.5 or 3, let's say. 3
so if you minus this that we've been under lockdown, you realize that we...
Like 1 or 2.
Oh.
One or two.
So we are getting there. We are getting there. And that's why when you read about how we operate, for example, someone who is in Kayunga watching this show and you want to start a safe space at your school or at your church or in your community, when you read on our website, safespacenetwork.org, you realize that we provide for a platform how you can initiate establishment of a safe space in your community.
We start from there. How do these people actually initiate these safe spaces? Because I'm looking at an individual like Edgar Matthew. I don't have a lot of influence in a lot of spaces. So how do you actually empower these individuals to go and start creating these safe spaces? How do you do this?
Thank you, Matthew. You know, a safe space, as I've told you, the basic concept is to create a space where one is feels safe both physically and emotionally. Before you take safe space to a level of institutions, first think about having a safe space in your home. Have you imagined a dad that when he reaches home, a wife and the children, they scatter, they start speaking in languages. Someone has been speaking Uganda forgets and starts speaking Runyankole because the father has come.
Yes.
So
and that shows fear.
Fear, meaning that a home itself is not a safe place, not a safe space. So when you want to initiate or start a safe space in your community,
It starts with you.
it starts with you. We first train you on how or what a safe space is about. And then if you are to establish it at your school, we come and train your staff. If it is a church or a community, you first make a group of, let's say, 10 people or 5. Then we come and educate you on what you expected as a safe space place. And then after that, we give you we give you notes to read, and we keep interacting. Then we register, you become a chapter, and then we keep in touch. For institutions that where we have established our safe space chapters, it becomes our own initiative. We get there, we mobilize people. Let's say at a school, we talk with a few teachers, we educate them. When they like our idea, then we train entire school administration or staff how a safe space operates. And then after learning, then now they register with a safe space chapter, and then they enroll students and start giving them a safe space. For example, someone may think of a safe space as a building or as an office.
That's what I also had in mind.
Oh, we can have...
You're just educating me now.
Thank you. You must be a good student.
I'm a student. I'm a forever student.
So
Forever good.
Forever
good
student.
so you can have a safe day or a safe evening. For example, if it is a school, you can dedicate a Thursday evening, maybe let's say 1 classroom, and you can be like from 4 p.m. up to 5 p.m. Let's say we shall be in a classroom of senior 3, and students that will be there. First of all, you need to assure them that where they are, they should enjoy the utmost liberty, freedom, feel free with each other. You assure them that they will not be judged. You assure them that what you know and they do not know,
them feel comfortable
to talk about,
speak freely.
to speak freely what they know and what they don't know. For example, we normally tell these people we train that we know about safe space because we learned about it before them. For example, Matthew is younger than me because I was born before him. Had he been born before me, he would be older than me. So when these students come in a safe space, you tell them that we are your teachers because we are born, we went to school first. So if it were you, we will also be students. And so feel free. You learn from us, we learn from you. Because, you know, students can know something that teachers may not know. So in a safe space, you are learning, you are discussing. So in this safe spaces, it's where we now bring in our areas of focus, environment conservation, HIV prevention. So in that, when they are in a safe space, they talk about how at home they have been degrading soil, how they have been degrading environment. And they feel they're not going to be judged for that. If this is a girl that has been having a boyfriend, feels freely to talk about it. We're like, you know what, teacher, I have a boyfriend, because they know that what they discuss in a safe space remains there.
Nelson, before we go in for a short commercial break, and we will talk about these campaigns, the HIV prevention and the environmental protection, I want you to first give an individual out there the tips, the basic tips, because I know you might be having them off head. Some of the tips that they have to follow in order for them to inculcate a culture of safe space in their spaces. For example, how do parents, start up a safe space in their families? How do teachers ensure that there is a safe space between them and the students? So just give us those basic tips that will help you be an agent of a safe space in your community. Let's say that.
Thank you, Matthew. To begin with, as I said, the basic concept behind safe spaces is that someone should feel emotionally safe and physically safe. Someone in a safe space should not feel judged for who they are or for what they don't know and what they have done. A safe space should be for learning and relearning, adapting and adopting.
But what I'm asking is, how do you actually ensure that there is a space for learning? How do you have like those traits you would say that for you, maybe you talk to them freely, maybe you can actually, you can tell the teacher, ask the students to give you questions that they feel that they want to know. Like, what are those practical things that you can do as a safe space agent to ensure that there is safe space? Because one would say an individual, maybe in the rural areas of the country, and we have a lot of people from Barara, a lot of people from Lanton who are watching us right now. He might seem that what I'm doing is okay, I'm ensuring that there is safe space, but yet the children or the students don't feel that they are safe with him. So what can he do as an individual to bring out or to ensure that people can actually trust him and there is safe space around him and around the family or around the school or something like that?
The concept of safe space is not a new concept. For example, when I reached here, what do you think made us start discussing freely? One, I know you felt not judged because of what you are, or of our differences. Two, if you to have a safe space, one, you need to be inclusive, and you need to be someone that celebrates diversity.
Kateke mu Uganda. Celebrating diversity.
No, but kangezeko okucelebrating diversity oba okumanya nti waliwo diversity kitegeeza nti okitegeera nti abantu tetufaanagana oba tetubeera kutegeera kwe kumu, tetuli ba myaka emu. Kata bw'olaba omwana n'omusosola lwakuba ye muto ate gwe oli mukulu, ekyo kiba kitegeeza safe space bategenda kubeerawo. Okubeera inclusive, wano tugamba nti wobosanga omuntu tamanyi omukkiriza nga bwali tamanyi, atomugamba gwe lwaki kino tokimanyi, kubanga ayinza kubuuza nti chairman wa LC yange mu kyalo yani tutomumanyi. Kati ekyo kikola ignorant, kitegeeza nti you cannot be in my class. No. So those are basic principles of a safe space. Be inclusive, celebrate diversity, be able to be challenged and to learn and relearn and adapt and adopt.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson N, Nkwene, I will ask you what the N stands for, but that will be after the short commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen.